How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to MFS Media. Thanks for tuning in. Today is going to be the first part in a three-part video series all about the Brownells BRN-180S upper receiver. Link to that will be down below. But this first part's going to be talking about the lower receiver and the parts I've chosen for the lower receiver. The second part's going to be a overview, kind of a brief overview of the 180S upper receiver when I do get it. I have it pre-ordered. It should be shipping at any point. But when I do finally get that, I'll have a video for that coming out. And then the third part is going to be the full review of the whole complete package. But before we go into the lower receiver, I just want to say thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for checking out this video. If you get to the end of it and if you like what you saw, remember to hit that like button. And if you want to see more that's similar to this, remember to hit that subscribe button. It really does help me out. I also at this point want to say I have a Facebook page that I share deals along with, I'll share deals on that BRN-180 upper receiver. And I have, I do polls, things like this. I have a bunch of different stuff that I put on that Facebook page. I also have an Instagram page where it's the best way to keep up to date with what's going on. I update that with review updates on things, on anything that I'm reviewing. You're going to see them first on Instagram. So, without further ado, here is what I've got so far. Now, this upper receiver, link will be right there, is the Ghost Firearms 10.5-inch 300 blackout upper receiver. You'll see my full review right there, but this is not functional with this configuration, because if you take a look right here at the charging handle, there's no buffer system, so you can't do that. And that's what makes the upper that I'm looking at, that's why this is so perfect for, because it's the buffer system is completely in the upper receiver itself. But one thing I want to show you up here before we head to the table is this folding brace right there. So this is going to be a 10.5-inch pistol build, and with everything that the BRN-180S upper is, you can have a complete folding brace right there and still fire and still have full capabilities of the firearm. So let's head over to the table, deep dive all the parts I've used, and let's go from there. Alrighty, so here we are back at the table, and let's kind of just let's get right into it and go over all the parts, the lower parts kit, what I've chosen for everything, and potentially reasons why I chose those things. So first thing, let's start with the lower parts kit. It's the BCM Gunfighter Enhanced Lower Parts Kit. The reason why I chose this is because I want to do something a little bit different. I've always done things that are a little bit more budget friendly and yada yada yada, and they've been great. There's been no problems with them. I just wanted to see why spend an extra $60 on a parts kit that doesn't include a stock or anything along those lines, and we're going to find out why over the course of these series of videos and over the course of time of me owning this. But so what it comes with is the BCM Mod 3 grip. It's got storage, and it's what I do like. This is something I do like over the MOE stuff for sure, is that instead of having like this weird little clip that you use, it's basically pressure on each side. And of course now I'm having issues opening it, so don't pay attention to that. But I like the hinge more. I do like this storage more. And you'll notice that the grip angle, I don't have it right here to compare with you guys, and I'll talk about it more in future, but the grip angle is different too, which is something that I don't know if I like yet, because I haven't used it yet. But it's got a way different grip angle, which and it fits nice in the hand. The stippling's good. And then let's move right over here. We have just all the parts itself are just standard mil-spec parts, but they're all made by BCM. And then you have the BCM trigger guard, and the BCM trigger guard is kind of like the Magpul one, and it makes it to where you can fit gloves and that sort of thing easily within the to access your trigger. One thing I do want to bring up is the safety selector on this, and it's something that I have never experienced before with a lower parts kit, and I'm sure that it's just something that needs to be broken in. But so if you don't notice anything weird, if I go from safe to fire, none whatsoever, everything's fine. But when I go back to fire to safe, if I rack it, no problem, which is the way that typically that's how you do it. But if I go from fire to safe, did you hear that click? It's almost like there's a detent, or almost like there's a hole for the detent to go into at the 45-degree angle. Now, if I find that that's the way it's supposed to be, I'll put that down below, but I've taken this apart multiple times and haven't found anything for that. So it's something that's a little bit, it's a little off-putting, but I feel it's probably one of those things that the more you use it, the more it works itself out. You won't have a problem with it. Now, again, it's still completely safe. I'm pressing the trigger, the hammer's not coming up, so you know that everything's going to be fine. It's not going to fire. It's the same as if it was on safe as opposed to fire. Which brings me to the trigger, which is the BCM PNT fire control group. PNT is the BCM PNT trigger is about, this is really why you're buying this, is the grip and this trigger. This trigger itself is right around $60 to $70 by itself, and it's touted to be one of the best mil-spec triggers, which is all it really is. It's an enhanced mil-spec trigger that's nickel Teflon coated, it's polished, and it's very corrosive resistant because of that nickel Teflon coating. And I can say, and just the small amount of time that I've had to play with it and compare it to other triggers, especially other triggers, not just normal mil-spec, but also other more potentially budget-friendly nickel Teflon coated triggers like the Palmetto one, this does feel nicer. I do see a difference. Now, I haven't had a chance to actually use that in practice and firing a gun, so I won't be able to do a full review on it till later, but at some point I will have a comparison video between this trigger and a few others that are very similar, so stay tuned for that. So that is the entire lower parts kit. Now moving to the strip lower itself, we have the Palmetto State Armory Spacefighter 15 lower receiver with the spaceman and the minigun. So that's pretty awesome. Obviously from Palmetto. And for your safe fire and full auto and or fun switch, you have standby for safe, engage for fire, and BERT. I can't put it all the way over there, but you have BERT for your fun switch. So that's really cool, really funny. I like it. And you guys helped me choose this for this build. So thank you very much for helping me with that. Moving further back, I want to mention that I have the KNS Precision AR-MCX adapter. This makes it to where you can attach any 1913 brace or stock to this. Now, this is a brace because this is going to be a pistol build. But what it does is it adds a Picatinny mount to the end of to where your buffer tube would be. And basically all it is just it's a little adapter that just goes right in where your buffer tube is, and it attaches via a Allen set screw right here, and that holds this in place. There's also some more locking mechanisms, which is really, really awesome. And with this flange, where your detent goes for your takedown pin right here, it covers that up so there's no chance of anything falling out, as if you had an actual end plate on there. So it all goes together very nicely, it all fits, and it seems extremely sturdy. Again, that's something I'll further update you guys in the future. And then moving back to the brace, I have the SB Tactical FS1913 stabilizing brace. So for this build, there's not a whole lot of options out there for a folding brace and or stock. And what I mean by that is that you can either go with something like a full brace with a mil-spec buffer tube that folds over, but then you're gonna have, it still works, no problem. It's just a little bit more funkier, and it adds a little bit more length to the insert name there. I can't remember what it's called, but that adds a whole, the Law Tactical, there we go. The Law Tactical folder adds a lot of length to it. And when it's folded, that length is still, there's not a huge amount, but there's still more length added to the lower receiver. So with this, it's as close as I could get it to flat. I think this is, honestly, this is the closest you can get it, in my opinion. This is the most I've seen. And you can see the locking system right there. Yeah, right there. And I'll fold it back for you guys. It seems extremely robust, and it seems like it's never going to really have an issue. There, locks in just like that. And it doesn't, you can't just accidentally do it. And when it's locked, it doesn't just come back. You do have to unlock it like so. Now, my one gripe for this particular setup, and by the way, this is the most cost-effective, in what I've found, this is the most cost-effective system to be able to have a folding brace for your BRN-180 build. But my one gripe for this brace is that there's no way to attach a sling. Don't get me wrong, you can loop a sling right in here, but it'll be a little bit funkier when you fold it. So that's the build so far. I really like pretty much everything about this. I'm really excited to get that upper receiver, really excited to start shooting it, and I really can't wait to give you guys my final thoughts on it. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.